Welcome to math. Friends, this week we're going to be working with a set of objects. A set of objects are just an amount of things that we can move and change. You can change the objects, the amount of objects, by adding or subtracting. Well, what do those words mean? Well, adding means that we are going to increase the amount of objects in that group. That means that we're going to join groups together. We are going to add. So when you have a group of objects and you want to join another group, you're going to put them together in one group and then you're going to figure out how much more there is. That's going to increase the amount of objects. That's going to make it bigger. We also will be separating objects or subtract objects. So when we subtract, friends, we are making that group smaller by taking away some of that group, by removing them, subtracting. So we're going to be talking about separating and joining. And today we're going to focus on joining. We're going to join groups together to find out what the total is, what the total amount is after joining them, after adding them. All right? Let's go ahead and start. I want you to watch me and see how I solve it. So I have a story here. Now, these stories are going to be very important for us to be able to do our joining problems. We're going to use this story to find out and add those groups to see the total. 2 frogs were in the pond. 3 more frogs happened into the pond. How many frogs are in the pond now? So this is a great little story about frogs in a pond. How many did we start with? So the first sentence says 2 frogs were in the pond. 1, 2. There are my 2 frogs. The next sentence says 3 more frogs hopped into the pond. They hopped. So let's make 3 more frogs hop into the pond. 1, 2, 3. So here we have our 2 frogs that were in the pond, and here we have our 3 frogs that hopped into the pond. Now, our group started with 2, and now we have all of these. So our group grew because we joined them together, this group with this group. So now, the last sentence says, how many frogs are in the pond now? Well, that's easy. And we're going to count. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many frogs are in the pond, friends? 5. So let's do another one. 5 apples were on the table. My mom brought me 2 more apples. How many apples are on the table now? So there's a table. And on this table are 5 apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The next sentence tells me that my mother brought me 2 more apples. 1, 2. And we are trying to figure out how many apples are on the table now. Well, we count how many are on the table now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 apples are on the table. In completing a story problem with our teen numbers. Are you ready? I know you can do it. For these problems, I'm going to use my 20 frame, and I've included a 20 frame here in Schoology, but if you can't print it off, that's okay, because there's always a way for us to do it on a blank piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how. We start with 2 rectangles, and we have to make sure that they have 2 rows each. And this is where you're going to want some help from an adult. We want to make sure that when we draw our lines up and down, it gives us 5 boxes on top and 5 boxes on the bottom. And we'll do the same for the bottom 10 frame. 5 boxes on top, and 5 boxes on the bottom. I'm using these red and yellow dots, but you can use anything at home. We've talked about using erasers, some pebbles, maybe some beans, uncooked beans, some small toys that you may have. I'm ready. It says, Carly had 4 red pencils. She then bought 9 more red pencils. How many pencils does she have now? Carly has 7 red pencils. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many more pencils did she buy? So I'm going to add those to my 20 frame. How many pencils does she have now? Well, we have to count. And friends, I'm going to show you a little trick. When you have your top 10 frame already full, no empty spaces, how many do you have in your 10 frame? 10. So I have 10, 11, 12, 13. So how many pencils does Carly have in all? She has 13 pencils now. So today, friends, you're going to be looking at these story problems that we've placed in Schoology for you, and you're going to be using your counters to find the answers to these joining problems. A joining problem is when your group becomes larger because you're adding more to the group. Okay? Have fun adding today, friends. Bye.